Hello and welcome to the show. It's rose-colored Classist, and I'm him. And I do this show on a fucking whim. Yep, it's episode 76. And big yikes. I'm gonna have to come out with it. I'm gonna have to admit it. All right, it's a tough way to open, but I have to address it. I did, in fact, have a conversation with Jeffrey Epstein. All right, it was on video. He did try and blackmail me with it. And at the time, I was, shocked that it was such a bad thing to be seen with him. But anyway, I have to show it to you now. Okay, it's finally time. I've been under the threat of death for quite a while, and I'm coming out with it. An attempt to save my own life. So, just to set up this clip, just to set it up, like a good podcaster. Just tell you what's going on beforehand. He calls me Kevin. So, at least it's not like I was important, all right? He didn't even know my name, but I am compromised, which is why I'm coming out with it, all right? So basically, me and Jeffrey were talking, okay, and he explained the whole operation to me, just gave me the gist, and I was like, oh, so it's a human trafficking operation where you mine organs, create sex slaves, set up odd scientific experiments, and it's all tied up in, run-of-the-mill military, natural resource gathering, plain old money-making, and for some reason, it's an attempt to achieve occultive objectives. And he looked back at me, and he was like, nailed it. And I was like, are you sure? And Jeff, he said, yeah, no, you nailed it. And I couldn't believe him. So I begin to speak again, and that's where the clip starts. Okay, so just here it is.
Is that it?
Why not? I'm here on the ground with my nose in it since the whole thing began. I've nurtured every sensation man has been inspired to have. I cared about what he wanted, and I never judged him. Why? Because I never rejected him. In spite of all his imperfections, I'm a fan of man. I'm a humanist. Maybe the last humanist. Who in their right mind, Kevin, could possibly deny the 20th century was entirely mine? All of it, Kevin! All of it. Mine. I'm peeking, Kevin.
All right, that's the video. I know, I'm pretty ashamed of myself. I look good, though, don't I? Covered in blood, but I look good. And, everything's looking a little bloody to me now. That's why I wear the glasses. Yeah, that clip demonetized this whole podcast, by the way. Like that matters. No, I was off. I was off last week, okay? I didn't know I was going to be off. But I have a real business. We did our wonderful stand-up comedy show. All right? So, sorry. I had to take some time. Can't do everything, all right? My show will grow in power and stature in due time. I'm making a deal with someone. I'm making a little deal. Yeah, it's going to be a real soulful podcast coming up in the future. No, how can you blame me, though? Really? All right? How can you blame me? Taking some time off, all right? I had to get a handle on everything that's been going on, all right? I am a comedian. All right, I have to make fun of things. Just give me a minute. Give me a minute with this shit. I mean, how much fucking stuff happened these last 2 weeks? God, no. You gotta let things play out a little bit. I was gonna record last Saturday. I was right there with it. And then what happens? Fucking Christ. Epstein files. More of them. A lot more of them. Later than they should have been. Okay? But, and then they dropped, and, you got to deal with it. You got to do it. The Epstein files, it's like your drug dealer dropping off cocaine. It's getting here late. There's definitely not enough of it. It's missing something. Has something else in it, perhaps. But by God, we're going through it. Oh, God. Oh, God. No, I'm fucked up, man. I'm fucked up with these files. I'm emotionally overwhelmed. All right? I gotta do a lot of shit to put on this podcast. Okay? So let me gather up. We all need to gather together I had to talk to a lot of people before I could feel comfortable speaking to you guys. All right, yeah, man, it's a new batch of Epstein files, fresh out the oven. What do I mean by oven? No, we'll get into that. So troubling, everything, the implications. I mean, this is it, guys. This is it. Everyone's reading them. Go on DropSite News. Find the J-Mail. All right, go on the DOJ website. Cross-check everything. Okay, we are going to read these files and start asking very specific questions to very specific people. Questions like, where were you on the 19th, May 2015, 2 p.m., on the ironically named Virgin Islands? Were you there? No. We, the people, need to talk extensively with a number of individuals. The people need to talk. Need to talk a lot. Yeah, I know one thing. Elon Musk is going to have another tough podcast. This next podcast Elon does, it's going to be real tough. Poor guy. Poor lucky guy. Sad guy. Messaging Jeffrey at 6 in the morning. Who do you guys message 6 in the morning, Christmas Day? I don't even have to go over it. Everyone already knows all the shit. God, Bill Gates, don't do another interview, bud. Don't do another. All right? He spoke out. Huge mistake. Didn't nail it. He's not denying the right things. We could do a whole hour. We could spend the rest of our lives figuring out, what Billy Boy and Jeffy Eppy were going on about. All right, they're doing fucking pandemic preparedness tests, trying to figure out better condom designs. Whatever's going on with climate change. That poor whore Melinda. That poor billionaire whore Melinda. God. Jesus. Man, Brett Ratner on Piers Morgan. You guys see this guy? He goes, it was my fiance. He's up on the screen. It was my fiance. My fiance back in the day. No, I'm not going to tell you her name. You're never going to learn this bitch's name. Never. No, watch Melania. All right, Melania knew my fiance's name. Okay. No, we're gonna have to keep talking to Brett a little bit. No, UK politicians, resignation after resignation, and good for them. Good for them. Yeah, get him talking about Jeffrey. Bring him around. Oh, I'd like to talk to you about Jeffrey in the city of London. He was touching our girls. He's hanging out at the castle. What was going on in the castle? Fucking rigging the economy together. God, Peter Attia. Jesus Christ. Someone help Peter Attia right now. Peter Attia, this doctor with a podcast, he wanted to make Jeffrey Epstein live longer. Live longer. He wanted this monster to fucking live longer. He wanted to save Jeffrey Epstein's life. I don't know about you guys, but if Jeffrey was in the ocean, I'd throw him a fucking anchor. If he was hanging on the cliff, I'd fucking grab him and jump off. I'd grab his hands and jump off with him just to make sure he goes down. God, I have bought products recommended by Peter Attia. Seriously, no, I have. All right, does that mean I am taking the same shit Jeffrey Epstein took? We're on the same formulation of NAD+? Oh, good. No, thanks. He's the best. Jeffrey, I mean, he's the guy. No, he's probably taking the right vitamins, if anything. If anything, this guy is fucking getting all the nutrients he needs. No. Thank you. Hey, Peter Attia, thank you. All right, you helped me. You helped Jeffrey. Tight. That's respect. Okay. Hey, man, when you got good information, everybody listens to you. Isn't that nice, Peter? You got good information. You're reaching all demographics. No, Peter, have you seen these emails? Jesus, I don't even have to bring them up. You can fucking start scrolling on your phone, man. Peter Attia, he emails Jeffrey Epstein. He goes, pussy is low carb, gluten content not yet determined. And I read that and I go, if only he used some of this humor in his fucking podcast. Peter, what you're saying wouldn't seem so awful if maybe through your hundreds of episodes you made one fucking joke. One fucking blue joke. Hey, Peter, what are you thinking, man? What's going on in your head? All right, are you thinking that if you make everybody live 5 years longer, that means the 13 is the new 18? Is that what you're trying to do? Yeah, no. If because of Peter fucking Attia, everyone's lifespan is lengthened by 10 years, well, when you screw an 8-year-old, it's as if what's his podcast name? It's called The Drive? What are you driven by, Peter? What are you driven by? What is driving you? Fuck. Dude, who else is getting it? Everybody's in it. Everybody's in the files. Everybody's getting it. I hear Reba McEntire is involved. I read an email or two where Reba's name is mentioned. Yeah, you're a survivor, Reba? Of what? You're a survivor of what? All right, you know any other survivors, Reba? Anybody watch your show? Know the theme song? Anyway, holy shit, who's getting it? Who else is getting it? Everybody's got to get it. Yeah, even you, the listener, you got to get it. You're in the files too. You're redacted, though. No, you're in the files, but you're redacted. Big black square on your ass. No, man, run-of-the-mill politicians. Everyone's going down. No, I stopped talking to him. Yeah, dude, these politicians stopped talking to Jeffrey Epstein like I stopped talking to my ex. Okay? Yeah, it's been 5 years since we talked. All right? Yeah, sure, I've, sent texts, emails, letters. But they only respond to half of them, so it's not like we're really talking. We're not even a thing. We're not even really a thing. I'm crazy. Don't listen to me. No, I miss him. Oh my God. No, these guys, they have the audacity to ask to go to the island. These people. Dude, who has the balls to ask to go to someone's island? All right? I'm sorry, okay? But I am not, if you have an island, I am not inviting myself. All right? I'm a polite guy. Out of courtesy. I would just let you invite me. But instead, these guys are fucking, hey, I'm gonna be in the area. Wanna hang? Hey, I'm gonna be in your neck of the woods. Yeah, the fucking Jeffrey with the fucking stabbing people in the neck. Put him in the woods. God, yeah. Hey, QAnon, Pizzagate people, big winners. Big winners, those guys. Was there a Kalshi poly market? Trying to figure out if the QAnon people were, majority right. Those guys, congrats. Congrats to you motherfuckers. I mean, sure, Epstein started 4chan, with whatever dumb fuck owner that got suicided. I hear that he was involved talking to the owner of 4chan. And yeah, sure, Jeffrey's the only reason you know that shit anyway. Putting out the false info, knocking us off the trail. But hey, being the first ones in on it, that does count. Okay, yeah, man, you guys didn't have 100%. But the fact that you put yourself in a position to where you would, learn the information from Epstein, all right? Congratulations. Congratulations. You got your moderate degeneracy. Your degeneracy to a point where the line, is, got you guys on the end. No, now you can reiterate the whole story, please. Please tell us everything you've learned over again. Pizzagate people? Everything over once more. Jesus. They're all fucking grape soda and pizza. What's going on with that? What's going on with that? Don't have to worry. You know, man. Everyone in the administration is connected. I'm sorry. All right, these fucks, they're all connected. One of these guys, was it the Treasury Secretary, lived next door to him? All the donors know him. Billy C., Hillary, doing a deposition in front of another committee. Yeah, we're gonna see a deposition, a video, unedited. It'll be on the up and up. Yeah, they're gonna, Hillary and Bill are gonna release it on the blockchain. Make sure it's secure. Yeah, the blockchain, which evidently Epstein invented. Anyone hearing that? The Bitcoin? That Bitcoin given to us by this Japanese faceless motherfucker. A currency mostly used by criminals. Yeah, it turns out probably invented by Jeffrey Epstein and the CIA. Surprise! Surprise, surprise. I don't know if you guys remember, but my podcast, when I decided to do it, I reviewed some Japanese paintings hanging in the foyer of Jeffrey Epstein's New York mansion. All right, and then we hear a story about he was pretending to be some Japanese tech genius. Yeah, that's a nice connection. Yeah, Bitcoin's going to zero. We're all fucking going to zero with this shit, man. And oh boy, little girl, oh boy, Trump. Oof, man, 3 more years of this shit. 3 more years of Trump and this shit. God. I don't really think we'll ever talk to this motherfucker again. Okay, it's been a week since the files dropped, and has he really been talking to us? No, the most talkative man in America for a decade. I don't think he should do another interview. I don't really think he should. Is he going to do another rally? Take another Q&A? Who's left to replace? I mean, yeah, he's going with the same line. What's his line? His line is that it's a hoax. The files are a lie and a hoax. Donald Trump, he says it's a hoax. That's the word. A hoax. You know, like a prank. Like Jeffrey Epstein's one big prank. Little rib. Practical joking. A hoax. Like what? Like a local town myth? Like vampires? A hoax like vampires. I'll be honest, I'm reading the files. I all of a sudden believe in vampires. No, it's Don't get distracted, guys. No, the Jeffrey Epstein files. It's a hoax. This is like an episode of Scooby-Doo. All right, there's some villain out there with a convoluted plan, and it's not as bad as we think. It's not that bad. No, the Epstein files hoax, and I would have gotten away with it too. Oh wait, they did get away with it, and I got away with it too because I was meddling kids. It's a Scooby-Doo joke. What? A hoax. Donald Trump saying hoax. Is he trying to say Horcrux? Because that would make sense, that the files just have a little bit of Epstein's soul in there. I just watched Deathly Hallows for the first time. What did those kids go through? No, Hollywood, everywhere. God, I mean, Trump, please, Trump. I mean, is he going to answer the specific questions? Or is anyone going to postulate these specific questions to him ever again? Are we going to ask him, hey, did you ever have sex parties in Ranchos Palos Verdes? Are there any dead bodies buried on the Ranchos Palos Verdes golf course? Did you ever blow your load into a 13-year-old, impregnate her, and then throw her and her baby in the lake? Did you ever do that? Did you ever do that? What about that? Specific questions. Yeah, man. What's the worst, like, most legit thing in the files about Trump? I think the Trump and the calendar girl pageant. I don't know. This guy with the pageants. Don't even know what that's about. I mean, I never watched any of those pageants, because I'm not a pedophile. Don't know. I don't know anything about that world. The modeling. I mean, I'm a guy. I'm a fucking, watch football. Yeah, the calendar girl pageants. Allegedly, and he brings in all these girls, and sure they're in a competition or whatever, but there's like a secret, side game going on, like a side auction, and allegedly in the files, he goes and he measures their vulvas and vaginas, because it's important to get metrics. You're businessmen. This is a serious undertaking. You want to know everything. Okay? When you're doing a good old underage sex slave auction, gotta provide metrics. Okay? I don't know. It is tough to believe. I will say that he's out there doing that. I mean, because allegedly he measured them by sticking his finger in them. Yeah, he gave all the vaginas to his ring size. Yeah, his jeweler is there. What race is his jeweler? What? We're gonna get into it. No, I'm surprised. It's hard to believe because if he's really doing that as a businessman, I'm surprised it wouldn't be more medical. All right, he's doing the measuring by hand. I was told he was a germaphobe. I was told Trump is a germaphobe. Remember that awesome news cycle? The rapist, racist, germaphobe. Goddamn Trump. I mean, dude, the endless reels out there, the endless content. I mean, I just been getting so much. I'm overwhelmed, all right? If I had a producer, all right, I throw it over to him, play a compilation, But, it's fucking, how many files out there? I have to read 3 million fucking files? I think I've seen that many Instagram reels. Yeah, the PDF files. About PDF files. The irony escapes me. What is so troubling? I feel like they called them PDF files from the get-go because they knew that eventually, it all come out about this. This is all we would care about. Yeah, there's we haven't even gotten all of them yet, though. Incredible. I feel shocked and overwhelmed, and it's not even all of them. How many files are there? There's 6 million files. 6 million. 6 million? 6 million. Anyone find that number an odd coincidence? What other thing we know about is also arbitrarily 6 million? Oh God, yeah, the anti-Semitism rising in the West. Yeah, and how could it not? How could it not? Motherfucking Epstein. I mean, the anti-Semitism. This guy is. You don't want to be anti-Semitic, and then you watch Jeffrey Epstein. Everything this guy did, you're losing it. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen the hours and hours of interviews that were recently put out, but Jeffrey Epstein's voice. I mean, his voice. Have you heard his voice? His voice is an anti-Semitic nightmare. Okay, this is his. I'm gonna play his real voice right now. It's not Al Pacino playing the devil. I mean, but this is his real voice.
Are you kidding?
Reading from a lesson.
Oh, you're reading from a lesson. I'm sorry. Sorry, Mr. Evans. I'm going to have to, though I'd like to answer that question as well, as I answered most of your other questions here today. I would like to respond. My attorneys, however, have advised me I have to assert my Fifth Amendment, Sixth Amendment, and 14th Amendment rights under the U.S. Constitution. I intend to respond to all relevant questions to this lawsuit. However, at the present time, my attorneys have counseled me that I cannot provide answers to any questions relevant to this lawsuit and must accept this advice or risk losing my right to effective representation.
Oy vey, with the Meshuggah. What in God's name is this accent? Guys, this is not good if you want to stop anti-Semitism. This is, guys, the voice for the worst person on earth is like the most stereotypical thing you've ever heard. This guy, he's fucking born on a Brooklyn subway. Dude, he is the most stereotypically sounding Jewish person I have heard in a long time. I mean, what the fuck? Is he doing an impersonation of Woody Allen right now? I mean, they spent enough time together for him to pick it up. I mean, Christ, Epstein, not good for the race. All right? Not a good representation for the race. All right, maybe if you allowed black girls in your pedophile ring, you would be more educated on knowing that you gotta look good for the rest of your race. God. Yeah, man, the fucking, Christ, man. Just, I react to most of these files and facts like in anger. But the one part that makes me genuinely sad is learning that Jeffrey Epstein is a racist. He's like a Jewish racist. I mean, come on. You can be a pedophile, but a racist? There are some lines you don't cross. You should know better than that. The Jewish people to not be racist, it seems obvious. You think they would know that. I mean, but fuck, dude. These goy emails. Am I going to get in trouble for saying the word goy? I mean, come on. It's, dude, if Jews are racist, it's yarmulkes off. All right, we are not prepared. It can get a lot worse. It can get a lot worse. I mean, this is why they're always trying to fight anti-Semitism, right? Because when you really realize the sides, I mean, gosh, I have heard a lot of racist things about Jewish people, and whatever level we're at now, I'm gonna say I think it's a long way to snappy uniforms and persistent questions, but this is easily gonna get out of hand. Okay, easily, because I mean, think about it. Anti-Semitism. What does it all come from? World War II. If we're all believing the story, and I'm at this point where I'm ready for a Sophie's Choice. Okay, here it is. Okay. The Nazis win World War II. Therefore, no Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, or we get what we have now. Nazis win World War II. No Jeffrey Epstein, or whatever insane world we have at this moment. Yeah, sure. Everyone good at music and comedy is dead. All of us are dead. Okay? And people, and whoever's left over, they dress fabulously and perhaps don't rape and kill millions of children per year. Likely eaten as well. How about that? You want to let the Nazis win if that doesn't happen? Yes, people die with bullets. That's better. Better? The chambers, let's not get into it. Yeah, the racism. We have, gosh, yeah. And by the way, I don't think you can let the Nazis win. That's my personal opinion, okay? I mean, you can't let the Nazis win because you'd probably still have child sacrifice. I mean, Hitler was really into the occult. Hitler was actually put into power by the Rothschilds and Epsteins, okay? No, he stayed at a hostel owned by them after World War I. I read it in the files. World War II, original false flag. Anyone read that in the files that Jeffrey, fucking some Jewish lady, some fucking sent him an email. Hey, you'll find this interesting. Hitler stayed in a halfway house funded by the Rothschilds and maybe your old relatives. Man, God, I'm having trouble focusing on something else other than the Epstein files. I'm having trouble letting anything into my life other than the Epstein files. All right, it's kind of the only thing worth spending time on in my head right now. I mean, I hear people talk about the hierarchy of needs. All right, we're all trying to become self-actualized, and I think to myself, I'm up on the pyramid going, I'm hungry, and then I think about it for a second, and I go, I think Jeffrey Epstein did something to the food, and the housing, and the shelter, and the jobs, and the literally, this guy is in everything. This guy is everywhere. He's in science. He's in music. He's in finance. He's in politics. He's drug running. He's gun running. He's running. All right? He made a lot of money from blood diamonds in Africa. He's in Asia. He's in Russia. He's in Israel. He's in fucking Iran. He's in Nicaragua, Morocco. He's on the boat. He's on the yacht. He's in the Tesla. He's in real estate. He's in retail. He's in modeling, military. He's at Harvard. He's at the golf course. He's in the air. He's got the fucking Palantir in his hand. All right, he lives in New Mexico. He lives in Miami. He lives in New York. He lives in Ohio for some reason. The fucking never-ending ironic Virgin Islands. Supposedly, he lived at the Vatican for 2 years with fucking that three popes ago. This Where's Waldo motherfucker. He is in every picture, every depiction of society. Did I say Hollywood? He's in Hollywood. He's ruined it. He's ruined almost everything in life. I'm like so distraught how this guy is in fucking everything. And I'm so depressed, and I don't even know if I want to participate in all of this anymore. I would commit suicide if Jeffrey Epstein hadn't ruined that too. Jeffrey Epstein has ruined suicide for people, okay? I commit suicide now. Would anyone even believe it? Would anyone even believe it? No, they wouldn't believe it. They think a fucking Mossad got me. I can't even be sad and kill myself anymore. This is how much they've taken away from us. This is how much. Fucking Christ. A guy like me who's fucking contemplated over and over again. You've taken away one of my few joys. Right, one of my few joys. Thinking about killing myself. I can't even do it. No one will take me seriously. That was great about killing myself, is that everybody was like, "Oh, we should have really been better to him. Oh, we should have really." But no, I kill myself. Fucking someone will think someone else did it for me. I don't even get that anymore. I don't even get the dignity of choosing my own death. Christ. I mean, I can't handle it. I mean, let's show some pictures. Show some pictures of fucking whatever Jeffrey Epstein, was on about. This chaotic madness. Okay, again, this is from Drop Site News. J-Mail. Yeah, it's you can see a bunch of photos. They've categorized the emails very well, and the sky is in everything. It's unimaginable. It makes no sense. It makes too much sense, but also it's just never ending what this guy is into. I mean, look, we have a picture of a weird looking evangelical church. Yeah, imagine the hymnals. Jeffrey is singing in there. Great acoustics in that church. Really carries the screaming. They probably kill people there. Yeah, no, we go on. We have Spanky, 1930s child actor. Just saved in his emails. Sent the attachment. Don't ask me why. Don't ask anybody why. We all know why. I mean, God, this is part of, this is like a famous story of child rape or something like that. Yeah, okay, what's the next one? Here's Ghislaine. She's with Hilary Swank. Just filming together. Up in the sky, living the dream, these guys. Oh, look, Jeffrey Epstein with an incredible headshot. Oh, who did his headshots? Who did his fucking headshots? One, they're talented. And two, who the fuck are they? God. Oh, and then what? He saved this picture of the most beautiful Thai boy. Yeah, Jeffrey Epstein, really interested in Thai boys. Dude, he's even into this shit. Surprise? No, God, I mean, what is going on? There's nothing good I could say. There's no little piece of this where I can trail off into something positive this guy has done. There's no positivity in any of this. I mean, Jeffy Eppy, I mean, maybe he was the true optimist. Had all this hope about what he could achieve. Who is saying anything good about Jeff right now? Is anyone saying anything good about him? Does anyone find any silver lining in any of this? I mean, the only person I can think of as saying good things about Epstein is Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro's telling me Epstein was not part of Mossad, and please and thank you, Ben. Please and thank you. That would take a lot off my plate if he was not part of the intelligence agencies. No, I listened to Ben. I'm gonna listen to Ben. I'm not gonna think about it anymore. I feel better. I'm gonna feel better. Yeah, Ben Shapiro probably has the same belief system as Jeffrey Epstein, right? When you really think about it, right? Probably believes the same things Jeffy Eppy did. Same things about Jewish people being better. God, racist Jews. Can't even believe it. These people, what's there to be racist about? You're smart? Oh God, no. Hey, I'm not being racist by saying they believe the same thing just because they're Jewish, all right? I'm actually accusing them of being racist. You're getting it all twisted. Don't turn this one around on me. I'm not racist. They are. God. Yeah, I mean, it is worst case scenario, right? When it comes to racism, anti-Semitism, it is worst case scenario. I'm just shocked. I mean, yeah. The Jews run the world. Fuck. 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 As bad as it could be. Bad as it could be. Look in the files. Jeffrey, he'll tell you himself they run it. It's so bad. It's so bad. This is like we're living in like a hyperbole. The world is a hyperbole. It's a racist hyperbole. I at least thought the Chinese would run the world. Maybe. No, but they're in fucking China too. Jeffrey Epstein. Over in China, Mongolia, doing deals. What the fuck? He's everywhere. And they run the world. And this is so bad for the normal Jews out there. Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of I have a lot of empathy for right now? Jerry Seinfeld. My favorite comedian, by the way. Yeah. He is not going to have a fun time in his twilight years. No. I imagine some really tough heckles coming up for his next set. Yeah, every Jewish comic out there is going to have a lot of hard sets coming up. I'm not sure they're going to get away with it. Just Jerry Seinfeld. Getting yelled at. Did you know Jeffrey? Who? I don't know Jeffrey. What are you talking about? I don't know him. Never even heard of him. What are you talking about? This is my show. Don't do this. Don't make me ask questions. Answer questions. How did I become a billionaire? I just had a show. No. What was up with that 16-year-old? What was up with her? No, I don't know. It's fine. 16-year-olds is fine. I mean, Jeffrey with the less than 16, I don't know about that. I don't know anything. Get away from me. Leave me. Yeah. Cheers to whatever sad state comedy is now. Evidently, Jeffrey Epstein, huge fan of stand-up too. Huge fan. Tim Dillon's telling me he loved Whitney Cummings. Fucking skank, the Legion, whatever, those guys are telling me he fucking went to their shows. Just a fan of the arts, this guy. Jeffrey, is that you in the audience? Whoa, my friend, give it up for Jeffrey, everybody. He came to the show. Busy guy. He's a busy guy. I'm shocked you had time for this show. Where were you? But where were you before this, Jeff? Where were you before? You were at a pizza place. I love pizza. I love a pizza. Oh, the pepperoni. No black girls. Oh yeah. Can we find? I mean, every stand-up show is like insanely taped nowadays. Can we find any footage? Yeah, come on. It's been started for a while. Is there any Gabriel Iglesias shows that Jeffrey went to? I'm not gonna do an impression of him. Yeah, it's just I don't know, man. It's this guy, central figure. This is our guy. Ran the world. No way to get around it. And here I am, two weeks late to a podcast, not dealing with the info well enough. God bless me. God bless all of us. I don't know. What do we do now? Right? What do we do? Did I cover my face? I'm so ashamed. Yeah, man, I am not quite sure of the necessary method of resistance that is going to be effective in this case. I mean, I have a podcast. I have a legal business. Once I grow both, the listeners, the fans, the consumers, I'd like to defeat whatever forces out there with precise commerce. All right, sure. I mean, I'm only operating in systems designed by people in direct opposition to my morals. So whether or not the powers that be, don't be, still alive, living in Israel, whatever if they ever let me get an edge in, and use the platforms and exist in the medium. That's an interesting question, but obviously, there's stuff all of us can be doing on the ground. I gotta get out there, do stand up, get the groups together, start having us sign little petitions. Make the comedy political. I don't know. I mean, we'll get back to you on that. But obviously, something needs to be done. Something needs to be done, and I don't know if podcasting about it is gonna work. I mean, sure, letting us all know what's up. That's tight. But what's after that? I mean, and a lot of these podcasts. I mean, I don't even know how productive it is in that. All right, it's an odd style of communication. I mean, I kind of treat this as a little stand-up riff. Maybe that's better, but a lot of these other guys, they're communicating, and I don't know about the medium. I was trying to build in the show, and I have some stuff I wrote last week, so I might bring it out. Like whatever this is, I hope it's healthy. The podcast machine. I hope it's well oiled and not grinding someone's gears. I love a podcast. I listen to them all day. Let the guys talk. Let him talk. Tell me a story. Talk to me like I'm just another one, just hanging out with you. But I don't know how we interact with each other and the podcast responses. I respond to this guy on my podcast. I respond to that guy on my podcast. Is that? I mean, I don't know. It's a lot of taunting. I'm not sure if that's what is best. If we're gonna take podcasts seriously and use them as a way to resist the oligarchical Satanist pedophiles, Satanist pedophilic oligarchs, the Satanist oligarchical pedophiles. I mean, what are you spending your time on? I mean, I just watched this thing. I mean, I don't know where you guys are on the news cycle. I don't know. If you just watch everything all at once on a Saturday. Play it all at 3 times speed, 5 hours of Breaking Points, 9 hours of Tim Pool, 4 hours of Dave Smith, Tim Dillon, Joe Rogan. I don't know if you just, play them all at once inside of a deprivation tank. However you get, informed. Your mom's house. It's all playing at once. Your mom's house, JRE at the same time. In 1 year, out the other. Spend all week just listening, building the stories. I don't know. I don't know if, again, I'm not sure if I'm too late to play this clip, but I want to play something Pierce Morgan. They had Dave Smith, Tim Pool, I say they because, Pierce is obviously not trans. He's possessed by a reptilian. And he broke his hip. Yeah, these guys. I want to play a little bit, get a little check up on the genre. Yeah, and these way these guys carry themselves, they're having some kind of modern spat, but the way these guys talk about their records, maybe, I shouldn't be playing this. I should be going even farther into the past. Play something that's said from 2009, hold them to the fire. Take their words, their texts, review them, look at their words as history, and decide if they were proven to be correct. Yeah, whatever these guys think. I mean, I just want to get a little check-in on them. And of course, I mean, modern things are happening. I mean, they're doing ice again, right? They're doing the ice stuff. This clip's about that. Let me set it up. Yeah, let's take a look at the genre. Get our minds off Epstein for a second. I'm sure we'll be back to him. All right, let's think about how to build a world without this guy. Okay, so again, let's watch Piers Morgan and let these cucks backpedal on their philosophies.
Well, those who've remained in the president's camp have been accused, among other things, of bootlicking. As you've probably seen by now, Tim Pool gave an eye-catching response to this particular claim, and Dave Smith gave an equally eye-catching response to him. Both clips are out-of-context snippets of much broader arguments, but we make no apologies for showing them both again.
So the argument right now is this. I'll put it simply. First of all, when these people come out and go, Tim's a bootlicker for defending us, I'm like, no, you misunderstand. It's my boots. It's mine. I voted for them. I'm wearing the boot. I'm stomping on the ground. I ain't licking anybody. I'm clapping for these people that I said, please go out and enforce the law. And anybody else who's cheering for it, who voted for it too, we're all wearing the boots. You're the one crying. You're the one saying, you're coming in and enforcing laws.
In what world are you like the tough fighter guy, and I'm like the guy who's like, oh no, I'm afraid of a physical confrontation? Like, it's just like, this is so silly, dude. Like, none of this is real. You're not gonna get in any type of fight, Tim. And if a fight is brought to your door, you will call law enforcement, who I believe you have a pretty good relationship with, and you will get other men to do your fighting. And by the way, I'm not sitting here and trying to say like, oh, I'm the big tough guy, but there is exactly the equal amount of toughness in Tim taking his position and me taking my position. Mine is a lot more coherent and intelligent, but neither of them are more manly than the other. Neither of them are more, you're willing to get in a fight where you're afraid of a fight. I find this stuff to be like the lowest IQ, most immature takes on politics.
Dave Smith, your response.
Well, I would just first off say that Tim knows that I love him, and we did make up on Twitter there.
Can we not start with a mollifying comment?
Oh, look at those fucking queers. Look at those fucking queers. Might as well hold hands. Yeah, Piers Morgan, the manliest person in that video right there. Yes, Piers, he breeds the hate like a man. Yeah, Piers, you're in the files, buddy. I don't know if you know about that. Yeah, Piers Morgan just had his hip replaced, which I don't get because he's never been hip. No, look at him. He's on the oxy. Running the show on the oxy. He's fucking goosing his gander, plumbing his pipes. He took a dip, broke his hip, coming back with some wit and lip. All right, now, this is a serious show. Dave, Piers, Tim, serious people responding to each other. And I want to be a wonk. Okay, yeah, I just listened to Tim Dillon today, and come on, he's great, but he's not serious. And I want to wonk. I want to wonk. Anyone know what a wonk is? If you were a wonk, you'd know. All right, yeah, man. The news watching audiences, they're there. I'm there, and I'm here for the deep cuts. Okay, Tim Pool, Dave Smith, political people with political ideologies. And they want to talk. They both got points. And I want to, dude, if this is how the machine works, if this is how it all works, responding to each other, looking at each other in the eyes, going, no, I'm sorry, I really do love you, but what about my points? I want to add. I want to wonk. Let me wonk. I want to add to the conversation. All right? Yes, let us here now talk about systems of government. Rose-colored classist. I named this podcast. I named it. It was my idea. Yeah. And I'd like to add. In fact, I'd even like to be bolder. All right, Tim, Dave, I, for you two, would like to stake out a new position that you may not have heard of. Okay? If you've been listening to my show, maybe you already know, but I'd like to postulate something. It's called Libertarian Fascism. Sounds good. It's already got a catchy name. Makes you excited. You go, what does that mean? Does that mean anything? Well, let me tell you. Yeah, so we have on one side. This is an ideology cater-made for these two. Cater-made, just perfectly, dude, just molded just for their fucking feelings and thoughts. Because in libertarian fascism, you have on one side someone like Dave. Yes, free markets, hard money, private property. Not for a large empire. Okay? And on the other side, you have Tim Pool, who wants to feel like a big man in a small world. He wants to yell. He wants to enjoy the suffering of others that he, thinks did something wrong. He never wants his authority questioned. That guy had a lot of energy in that clip. Do you like that energy he had? Should I do my podcast with more energy? Anyway, so those two ideologies, all right? I want to bridge the gap between them. We need a system. Real shit. We need a system where the government does not pick the winners and losers. All right? And if they do, we murder them or put them in jail. Okay? Anybody who wants the government in charge of stuff, okay, sent to the gulag. Does that make sense? Everyone in America needs to own private property or be shot. Sounds good? This dude. Imagine the world. Imagine the world. Okay, so the cops show up. Who owns the cops? I don't know. But the cops show up. They separate. They separate a fight. All right. They take the parties. All right. They separate them and they go to each individual. They go, all right, do you have private property? And one of the guys, he raises his hand. He's like, yeah, I have private property. And the cops go, all right, you go to your private property. All right. They look at the other guy and they go, do you have private property? You didn't raise your hand the first time. And he goes, no, I don't. And then you arrest him. All right. You arrest him. You put him in jail. And while he's in jail, all he does is figure out a way to get private property. Libertarian fascism. Sounds like a good idea. Sounds to me, dude, everyone's problems, all right, would be solved if they just had them in their own private property. Okay? I'm not saying your problems will be like fixed, but they'll stop being at least our problem if you do it in your private property. Okay? And if you bring your problems outside of your own private property, you're going to get tased. Pepper sprayed in the face. All right? If somebody out there is going, looking at the homeless drug addicts, and they go, we all need to pay to help them. You can beat that person up on the street in my system. Okay? If you try and stop someone from helping a homeless person, they can beat you up. The homeless person and the person trying to help the homeless person can beat your ass. Libertarian fascism. All right? I want a world where you can do anything and the only way to stop you is violence. Kind of like now, but a little more obvious. Maybe a little more what the founders had in mind, actually. I mean, immigrants. This is the issue that the Timmy and Dave are on about. Immigrants. I mean, what do you want to know about immigrants? Here's what we need to ask. Do they have private property? And if not, they should go to jail. They should go to jail, and we should either get them private property or, do something really fucking heinous and malicious against them. Those are the options, by the way, actually, in America. If you actually want to fix it, you either give them private property, let them work to get private property, or just brutalize them. It's most effective. All right. I want a world where the government either helps you get private property or kills you. Does that sound unfair to anybody? Does that sound unfair? This is the position that I'm staking out that would solve whatever like right-wing infighting is happening right now. If you heard there's a civil war inside the right, I'm walking it. Because yeah, I mean, we got to compromise. Yes, we can hurt people. And yes, we can feel good about ourselves because while others are bleeding on the sidewalk, it is who it needs to be. The ones without private property. Okay? Yeah, it's the public. What is the public? That's your shit. I'm not even worried about it. I want the public? What do you mean? Nobody wants the public. All right? I actually believe sincerely in libertarian fascism. This is what I believe, that everyone should have a part ownership in their town, their city, their state. All right? They should be benefited when it does good, suffer small losses when it does bad. We should give them private property. We should give them a personal stake inside the public. All right? I mean, that sounds like, that sounds like a cool society. Sounds like socialism, communism, but it's not. You can buy your way in. That's more like what we have now. You can work your way in. Citizenship, yes, it should be earned, obviously. All right, yeah, but if you were born somewhere else within some other system and you want to join us, come up with a business proposal. Bring out your papers, bank records, your resume. I mean, private owners running a private government where everyone is a private owner. I mean, does this not sound smart? This is what we do. We have fascistic, totalitarian rules enforcing liberty. All right? We force everyone to think for themselves. By threat of violence. We threaten people until they handle their own shit. This is not a hard concept. It's a beautiful one, actually. It's one I'm staking out my whole career on. And I would love to be questioned about this philosophy. I really would. Why am I not in the conversation? I'm trying to add to it. You hear me trying to add? Whatever you guys are thinking. Yeah, economics, order, fundamental change in the system is what's necessary. We just talked about Jeffrey. Fundamental change. But think, we're still doing fascism. We're still doing it. People say it's going to be really hard to unwind the police state. In my world, we don't. In my form, we don't. So it actually, could really work. Yeah, man. And I guess, obviously Congress would need to pass a lot of laws. Yeah. Congress would need to pass a lot of laws. The courts are probably the biggest issue. Who owns the courts? Yeah, but this, what I'm talking about isn't exactly a new idea. I mean, Bill Maher, he's popular. He talked about a few years ago, capitalism plus. I remember his old bits, or at least, his writer's bits. I remember him. And, libertarian fascism, it still runs as a republic. All right. Yeah. I believe that we should vote for judges in federal government. Okay. I believe that. I don't think we do, whatever republic is perfectly right at the moment. But again, this is what's great about my idea is that we don't get rid of the fascism we already have. We don't get rid of the bureaucracy we already have. We take the bureaucracy, the fascism, and point it at letting everyone get private property. I'm waiting for applause, actually. I'm waiting for an applause right now, and I'm not hearing anything. But then again, I am alone in my studio apartment with my Dalmatian who is laying upside down on a big chair. Okay. Now again, yes. Everything goes back to the elites, all right? And there is something going on in Minnesota. It's a window into the system. I want to sum it up. I want to get you thinking right about it because, you can blame whatever, and I talk about this all the time. Yes, we have the real, geopolitical Machiavellian world, but obviously, in light of the files in Jeffrey Epstein, a lot more is going on than that. So, I'd like to begin a little bit, another clip. It's Tucker Carlson. We love him. It's Tucker Carlson, and has a guy on. You may know him. And let's continue down this line, try and, figure out what's going on with the world.
What will happen? Praying for peace as always, praying for an end to chaos, but unknown. So this is one of the most significant moments, also one of the most complex moments, and one of the most distorted moments any of us have lived through in a long time. And so to help make sense of it, we're proud to have someone who I think of as one of the greatest journalists really of our time, certainly one of the clearest observers and most honest observers I know, and that's Michael Schellenberger, who joins us now. Mike, thanks so much for doing this. I'm just going to stand back and let you assess what you think we're watching right now in Minneapolis.
Sure. Well, it's great to be with you, Tucker, and I wholeheartedly agree. This is a issue of great significance. I should, start by saying that the people involved in it on the left are very familiar to me. I spent many decades on the radical left. I've participated in nonviolent civil disobedience multiple times. I've led nonviolent civil disobedience, most recently to save the Diablo Canyon nuclear power plant. I'm also somebody that takes physical security extremely seriously. I've been in war zones ever since I was 17 years old.
Okay, that's not the whole clip. I just want you to feel the drip from these orators. Yeah, these are the people we listen to, guys. Yeah, what a bunch of melodramatic, duck-looking motherfuckers, right? No, I want to make fun of them for a second. The politics, the genre, the podcasting. Anyway, here's the real opinion. Here it is.
No, I'm not defending the behavior of any of these ICE officers. If you pressed me, I think that this was not great behavior. I think we can all look at it and see a lot of things that we think are inappropriate. This is a force of ICE agents that was not well prepared. I don't think it was well managed. And other things can be true, which is that Alex Preddy put himself right in front of that officer, stepped into the street, got himself involved in this altercation that he didn't need to be involved in, certainly not to film it. So they are clearly intervening. And of course, Renee Good, drives perpendicular to blocking the street. Her partner was outside the vehicle taunting ICE agents. I think it's just obvious that these are behaviors aimed at interfering with law enforcement operations. And again, that's not justification for the behaviors of the ICE agents or anything else. But I think this effort to kind of strip away all that context and suggest that somehow these were, observers or journalists that were keeping safe distance is just false. It's just not the case. I think the other point I wanted to make about this is that there's two separate strategies that people should be aware of that left-wing activists use. One is nonviolent civil disobedience, incredible tradition from Henry David Thoreau to Mahatma Gandhi to Martin Luther King to nonviolent civil disobedience I was involved in. The first priority is to keep people safe and prevent any physical altercations or any conflict with law enforcement. Those efforts, in fact, should and do use a lot of communication between the protest leaders and law enforcement to avoid any physical violence. The whole strategy is to be arrested. That's the point of it, but to be arrested in a peaceful way. What we're seeing in Minneapolis is not that strategy. It is a strategy aimed at provoking an overreaction. It's much more similar to the guerrilla strategy that was developed by Fidel Castro and Che Guevara to overthrow the Cuban government, which is to make an attack and then get an overreaction from your opponent that hurts many people on your side deliberately in order to foment a larger revolution or reaction. Notably, that tactic, it's a neutral tactic. It can be used by anybody. It was used by Osama.
All right, there you go. Hopefully that fills out the rest of the political picture for you, especially in contrast to these right-leaning guys I played first. Yeah, what is Tucker and this sweet Michael doing? Michael, we'll talk about him, but what are they doing? They're blaming the leftists. Which, hey, admiration to you. I mean, I'll admit it. I think I already defined it. Clearly, I am a right-leaning leftist. Yes, overthrow the government, but in a conservative manner. Calmly overthrow the government. Okay? Just real quiet, real easy. I mean, this is what we're talking about. All right, obviously the system is run by Jeffrey Epstein. All right, whatever leftists are out there, whatever cops and fucking right-wing people are out there, people say it all the time. I don't have to, stake out a new position on this one, but these two forces are used to create chaos and perpetuate the system. I mean, it's terrible. Let me say it. I mean, any participation in whatever, defined political ideologies we already have, I mean, it perpetuates whatever the fuck has been going on. Okay? And it's fucked up, and yes, it needs to stop, but, they're being used against each other. All right, the leftists, they go out there, and it's like, yes, all right, there are things that need to be completely redone. Okay, but understand there are some parts to the system that is, so fucked up that these awful, what you would call capitalists created, that we can't let go of. All right, things like money, property, the threshold where if you go past, the response is violent. All right, these things are effective weapons that, yes, the commies recognize that if you took them away from these particular elites, they'd be a lot more successful. But understand, I mean, just because, the swords, all right, and just because, your friend gets killed by the sword doesn't mean you disarm yourself. No, you pick up the same sword. And these groups, I think they're both, obvious canards to, keep the fucking, people fighting against each other so they never coalesce. And what Michael Schoenberg talks about is important. Schoenberg. Is he Jewish? German, probably, right? Here in the name. No, it's important. Yes, the differentiations between the methods of protest that people, are exhibiting and operating under right now. You want to stay inside whatever fucking, circle's been drawn for us, and it's important to understand what happens inside the circle, but, either or, it seems like you got to get out of it. And yeah, man, obviously there are methods of protest that are detestable. Okay, the guerrilla, the highly organized. He's out there indicating that, groups are out there acting intentionally. And that's my point. All right, these people are fucking having their point of view pushed, by themselves and others, perhaps the other side even. And they're pushing people to the slaughter. All right? I mean, look, you really think leftists, you really think manpower is the answer? You really think you just throw bodies at the problem, it's going to fix it? Yes, the Russian way. All these leftists, there's more of us. There's more of us than there are the bad guys. Yeah, tell that to the 50 cal. All right? Yeah, anybody putting their bodies in front of law enforcement at this point, you do not want to live. It's not logical. Obviously, your fucking belief system is being used against you. Okay, yeah, the right people, the right-wing people, they have it all. All right, they're militarized. The police got better stuff than the military sometimes. ICE, endless budgets. All right, anybody who's trying to protest in whatever way Michael is talking about obviously does not have a good grasp on the situation. Do they understand that they're being used? Which brings me to my point again. And it's like, yes, any type of nonsensical conflict. All right, obviously the ICE agents, they're not being effective, immigrant catchers. Yeah, I don't understand why they would continue like this. Oh, they stopped kind of. I don't know. I mean, what they're both doing is being done to stoke tensions, usher in totalitarianism. All right, yeah, the elimination of private property is what the commies want, except for the winners. The winners, you'd be surprised how they come out. Yeah, man, this is the obvious playbook. We should all be with it. I'll understand it. All right, create chaos, pass stricter and stricter laws. Cause chaos, squeeze freedom. All right, whether the participants of the left-leaning people are there, whether they're true believers or know what I'm talking about and making some kind of fucking, delineation and choice, I just want to say to them that your communistic desires actually align with the Satanist oligarchical pedophiles. It actually align with the elite. You don't want anyone to have private property? Well, neither do the elites. Okay, and when no one has private property and it's just you versus them, I wonder who's going to win. I mean, this is why it's so effective, so smart, because it's so easy to get trapped up into it. Tucker and Michael just talking like these are the actual sides. I mean, come on, dude. At the end of the day, like, think about it. This is the genius of the elites, okay? They take right-wing people, all right? The people who would actually fight them. Guys who would go into ICE, go into the military. And what they do is they have them work for them, okay? And then they create the opposition via the university, which they actually control. Surprise, surprise. You know, and they take the other group of people that would fight them, the hyper empathetic with, you know, powerful ideology, and what they twist it around, and they take their true feelings and make them serve their purpose. And at the end of the fight, this is what I'm talking about. When the, you know, either the empathetic leftists win and the elites who back them betray them easily, or the fighters and militaristic people win, but their numbers and resources are now so dwindled, their desire to fight so little, that they either get eliminated, continue conscription, or give up entirely. Okay, yes, the elite psychopaths pin dumb soldiers against the over-intellectualized. That's what happens. Those are the sides. Sorry, everybody. Sorry. But your political ideology is being used against you to eliminate you. Yeah. And what's left? I mean, now, everyone after that who don't believe in either, the creative, the ingenious, the chill, the cool, the schizoids, as the internet would say. Yeah, and anybody who does not want to prescribe to either of those sides, I mean, the higher consciousness people who are always doing their own thing, they're letting the bygones be bygones, whatever a bygone is. We have our, godly attitude that we check ourselves with, we realize, okay, and just we got to understand that, we have the real power, okay? Because just as these two sides are presented, does not mean that they're the only choice that we have, okay? Yes, the creatives who understand, the noticers. I'm sorry, the noticers, we in fact need to be like the billionaires, the Illuminati. Sure, we will have no money, but we need a definitive leadership, a board, maybe. Okay, we need to grow in strength, conviction, and power. Yes, the right dummies, the left dummies, the billionaires up top, and then here's us. Here's us at the bottom. The bottom needs to coalesce and whip around, okay? And who's leading the charge? Who's leading that charge? Candace Owens. Our queen. Candace Owens, our queen. Our fair lady. Our fair-skinned lady. Yeah, she's on it. She's on another one. Gotta keep playing her. I'll never get rid of a Candace segment. I mean, until they murder her, at least. So let's play this next clip of Candace, who's, she's leading the charge. I'm on her side. I'm with her. Candace. So yeah, let's please play Candace Owens right now. Let's get into what she's on about lately.
Do the symbol, because a lot of in the media, I don't know if they're still doing that today in the land of the living, but I know what I experienced when I went down there. They call themselves the elites, and what it means is the elites of like the satanic kingdom, and they do this thing with the all-seeing eye. As you notice, in the past I had that all-seeing eye too, because I had to become one of them in order to come back and expose them, you see.
No, wait, sorry, that's Tila Tequila. My bad. Sorry, I thought she was Candace Owens. Same person, really. Same person, same type. No, it's I'm sorry to do that. Just they do ring the same bell for me a little bit. But no, I'm gonna play Candace now. Okay, I'm gonna play Candace Owens. She's gonna say something very complicated, religious. It's gonna go on for a while, another 5 minutes or so. I'm trying to fill time. Okay, dude, I'm about to show you Candace, and it'll just be like watching her show. Just be like watching her show again. You get a double dip. Okay, feel free to skip if you've already listened to it. But yeah, here's Candace, what she's on about now. It's important.
I mentioned to you guys this man named Rob Skiba yesterday. He wrote a book entitled Babylon Rising. This came to me from an email tip. It was immediately interesting. Well, this man, it is alleged, was actually murdered for some of the research and the pieces that he were putting together because he was perhaps getting too close to the ultimate project of the elites. I explained to you that all of the elites are obsessed with Babylon, and any research that I do, it's all about Babylon, Babylon, Babylon. And I want to share to you some of these clips. It's Rob Skiba, and he's speaking about his book. Now, to tee this up, let's just get into a little bit of the history. He is positing a lot about the Tower of Babel. Obviously, we know this was built up, that this angered God. And Rob Skiba posits that it wasn't actually the height of the tower that was problematic. He believes that, or this is a theory, so don't be offended. Please don't send me emails about, whoa, this is not the teaching, this is not the doctrine. We're trying to not get to what is true or what you believe. We are trying to actually get to what the elites believe. Okay, we actually don't believe we should harm children. So if we're speaking about the elites' belief, you don't have to send me a lecture about what's wrong about it. The entire purpose of this podcast is to tell you that the elites are satanic. Anyway, back to Nimrod building this Tower of Babel. Well, Rob Skiba posits, he's like, I don't think it was because the tower was high. We know that he built this to get back to heaven. He thinks that actually this tower that was being built was a technology because they wanted to get back into the heavenly realm. Now, if you have read Gilgamesh, there is a lot of astrotheology that's in it. Stargates. We know that the elites worship stars. We've covered that extensively. Well, in this particular clip, you're going to see Rob Skiba discuss the Book of Enoch, the one that I mentioned to you, going back to the beginning, the story of fallen angels. And he brings up something that is of geographical interest. Take a listen.
There are extra biblical texts, like the Book of Enoch and others, that go into more detail about what happened in Genesis 6. The Book of Enoch says that 200 fallen angels, a class of angels known as the Watchers, landed in this location right here. This is the center of a mountain range in southern Lebanon known as Mount Hermon. Now keep your eye right there as the camera pulls back and just kind of look at the outline of the topography right there. It's very interesting that it actually forms the shape of a goat. And one of the worst of the fallen angels was one by the name of Azazel. And Azazel is always associated with the goat. And you see that in Leviticus chapter 16. The scapegoat is in reference to Azazel. I find it interesting that the land itself actually kind of looks like a goat head. This gentleman depicted here is David Flynn. He recently passed away, but he turned the world upside down with some of his research, and he was able to figure out that location is 33.33 degrees north by 33.33 degrees east from the Paris prime meridian. Very interesting. What's 1/3 of 100? 33.3333%, right? How interesting that the fallen angels that participated in what I call the Genesis 6 experiment landed on the geographical location that fits their number on the crosshairs of 33.33. Something else David Flynn pointed out is that if you put a little marker there, and you can do this for yourself, that what I showed you there is from Google Earth. I did it for myself to check it out. But you can put a marker there and then draw a line from there to the Paris prime meridian. We go by Greenwich today, but originally it was the Paris was kind of the standard for a long time there. And that is, in the occult, is referred to as the devil's line.
So something that is a fact is that the elites are obsessed with goat heads, Baal worship. None of this is a conspiracy. Jeffrey Epstein worked for the Rothschilds. You were looking at a picture of the Rothschilds at their surrealist ball. The more research you do, you just sort of see this appearance over and over again of goat heads. Even if you get into Pan worship, Dionysus, all of these, occult, orgiastic cults that they've had since the beginning of time, so to speak. And just to give you guys a biblical recap, I should never assume. I know a lot of people are kind of now just going to church or just starting to pick up a Bible. So I can back this up for you. The story of man, just so you guys know, you're not an ape. You can throw away that chart. The biblical recap here, Satan is struck down by the archangel St. Michael after a battle of good versus evil in heaven, because Satan is leading this rebellion against God. The rebellion fails. He is obviously expelled. And as a result, he no longer has access to God. This is our true history, our true heritage. This is what actually happened. Like I said, you're not a monkey. That middle school chart of, here's what happened. And then you were like, the Australopithecus. And then it was a Homo sapien. That's just nonsense, quote unquote, science. Now, these fallen angels, so to speak, also known as demons, then mate with humans. They produce Nephilim, giants, and their demonic pursuit never actually ends. They are still seeking to triumph God. So that enters in the story of Nimrod and him building this Tower of Babel as a return to heaven. So like I said, The biblical story is that as Nimrod is constructing this tower, God confuses language amongst the people, forcing them to abandon the project because they can't communicate with one another. So, can't speak, we can't build this tower. So Ron Skiba's theory, if you're suspending, again, theological debate for a moment, I'm just telling you because we're looking into what he is saying the elites are after. His theory is that at the moment that occurred, once languages were confused, Nimrod became known as different names. Baal, Tammuz, Gilgamesh, and like I said, he is positing this. You can see this whole list, Dionysus, Bacchus. Yes, there is synergy between those cults and the practices without question, historically speaking. Now, he's discussing this because he believes that the elites view Nimrod and or Gilgamesh as the Antichrist that they are working to try to resurrect for exactly that reason. And he reminds audiences that Gilgamesh, per the epic, was 2/3 God and 1/3 man. Take a listen. Super interesting.
Gilgamesh is said to be part God, part man. Jesus is God and man, right? Well, there's a similarity there. The Epic of Gilgamesh says that he was 1/3 man and 2/3 God. What's 1/3 of 100? 33.33%. What's 2/3? 66.6%. Interesting. And the 1/3 part of man, we are carbon-based organisms, right? The carbon molecule has 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, 6 protons. So just by default, the number of man would be 666 by virtue of the carbon molecule. But this guy's got 6s all over him. Look up CERN. It's a very interesting facility. Look at this thing. The thing's huge. It's the Hadron Super Collider. Their stated objective is to recreate the Big Bang. Now, I don't believe in evolution myself, but I remember them teaching me evolution in school, and they said we got here from a Big Bang, right? So if we got here according to the way you think, and you want to, by a Big Bang, and you want to recreate the Big Bang, that can't be a good thing. They're trying to find the God particle. You know, what in the world are these guys doing? Look at their logo. It looks like 3 6s on top of each other. And everybody wants to talk about the separation of science and religion, right? They're usually, it seems like they're like this, right? They're diametrically opposed. Well, it's interesting that all these scientists and people working over there on CERN decide to put the religious statue of the Hindu god Shiva outside the front door. Shiva is the god of destruction. They put the god of destruction, a huge statue dancing, looks like it's coming through a portal.
Candace. All right. Did you see what she's on about? Call her a conspiracy theorist now. Yeah, man. I don't know for me, but back on the God Squad. I'm back on the God Squad. All right. We're out here calling Babylon not a building, but odd technology. That shit gets me going. If you're telling me science is spiritual, I'm back on the God Squad. I'm on this. Man, this bitch has got me going. Bro, I am simping hard for this woman right now. What this lady has made me realize about life. Come on, this lady, she's got me. I've done a true 360 on my beliefs. All right? True 360, all right? I'll tell you, man, I was fucking kid atheist. I was one of the best atheists you ever met. I was doing great at it. Okay? And now I look at myself. I'm looking at this woman. I'm looking at the world, Jeffy, Epi, aliens, and it's just crazy to come back around like this. No, I am truly shocked at my spiritual journey. I'm pretty sure I believe everything again. I was a kid. I believed it. Now here I am. I think I believe it all again. I'm pretty sure I gave my life to Jesus like 2 days ago. I'm scared. It's getting real. No, I think, dude. Yeah, I tell you guys before, but I went to a Christian high school. My mom, super big on the Antichrist stuff growing up, the end times, revelations, and I think my mom deserves an apology. She wanted me to read the Left Behind series, and I never did. Okay, yeah. It was the early 2000s. I thought she was nuts. My bad. No, I talked to my crazy lady mom. I'd be like, come on, let me see some evidence. Can I see some evidence? And now here I am, fucking aliens, the pyramids, The Epstein files, some fucking, this loco Redbone telling me about the fucking things I never even dreamed of. I'm all the way back around. I'm all the way back around. And my mom, she believed all this stuff without evidence. Good for her. I mean, she's going to get raptured. Me, at this point, I might be too late. I might be too late for the rapture, guys. Too late for the rapture, boys. Didn't believe soon enough. Man, I am living the Left Behind series, all right? I am in some shit novel that was used for money laundering. Okay? They made a few mid-TV movies. I'm feeling left behind. Really. Tough break for me. I'm now stuck here with you guys. The past, the present, future listeners. Right on. Okay. Hey, Candace Owens, let's lay it out. Let's lay it out for, us normies. She's obviously on one in her own head. Let me try and sum it up. Okay, here, Candace. She's scratching the surface. She's just bringing it up. Scratching the surface. Bitch needs more Mimi's skincare. All right, so her surface is getting scratched. And again, this is episode 76, so I've done a lot of these podcasts, and I feel like a lot of my duty here is to connect all this religious stuff back to aliens. All right? The reason I'm even back in the first place. Alien Jesus. Are you ready? Okay. And we got to get on board with Alien Jesus, all right? And I'll talk about it at first. I mean, my problem with like OG God, whatever I thought God was before aliens, all right? I didn't think he fared better than, happenstance and coincidence and luck and it all happened because of chance. I mean, this is my whole childhood deciding if God was real or not. All right, yeah, my mom was, again, passionate about Jesus. I read a lot of the texts. I know. But my initial problem, my main issue was that, of the limited definitions of what God was. The strict God doctrine. All right, my perception of whatever I thought God was, I'll be honest, defined by others. Okay? And the moment I'm back around is deciding for myself. Okay? Making it my definition, whatever that AA bullshit is, God as I understand it. All right? And God as I understand it, I mean, when you learn about the mysteries of ancient people, discuss, math and science that we don't understand. There's a hot Jeffrey Epstein clip out there talking about the soul. All right? We have evidence around the unidentified anomalous phenomena. Okay? When you realize that, religious institutions are completely corrupt and whatever I heard from them was probably false. When you realize that the most successful people on earth themselves believe in some kind of God Squad bullshit. Okay, when you put it all together, I've had to expand my definition of what I conceive of as God. Okay, and hey man, I'll even admit it. The Bible or whatever strict doctrine I'm talking about, they told me God was inconceivable. They told me. Inconceivable. And I look at the idea of God as an entity with agency in some kind of like interdimensional alien form. Okay, that's, inconceivable. Couldn't even imagine that. Sounds crazy. It's still hard to believe. It takes a lot for me to believe that. And, talk about humbling myself. I humble myself when I listen to Candace, all right? Maybe I don't know it all. Okay, and realizing that at some level my existence is fucking pathetic. I am to an extent again impotent, against whatever expanded definition of God I have. When I consider opposing and opposite facts, I mean, God is probably real. God is probably real, and it can take form in scientific ways. All right. And again, in the Bible, it'll tell me that even if I could wrap my head around it, my brain would fucking melt. All right, people, God shows himself in his all form, and people's faces fucking melt off like they're opening the ark. All right. And it's just, you got to take it that may the stories of the Bible and whatever other specific religious texts, they're stories that, continue on into our times. So when we try and sum up, Candace's theory, I think I've, laid enough groundwork where if I keep touching back, trying to connect aliens to it, maybe you could understand it. All right. I'm trying to connect the alien believers and the God Squad. All right. Different sects, different cults, but, same oppositional forces, same things backed by current, even, inexplicable sightings and a different interpretation of archaeological fact. All right. So here I am. I mean, I don't mean to proselytize or, probably blaspheme. Whatever I'm saying is probably closer to blasphemy. God being an alien. All right. But so going to Candace, where does it start, right? We can say that, she's attacking evolution, which hurts me personally. All right. I was believing that real hard, and maybe I still do. But I mean, here it is. Either we can say that, God created man, or you can say, aliens came down to artificially advance our evolution. And maybe that fucking weird evolution chart's that. And tell me again what the difference is. All right. I mean, if you're an avid listener, you're back, baby. It's been 2 weeks. This is what I talk about when I say the phrase, the acronym, practically omnipotent, interdimensional, ancient alien space gods. All right. Tell me what is the difference between the Poid, Asks, and God? There's not much, man. There's not much. All right, whatever divine preconception you have about your soul and heaven and hell, I think you could also consider them mathematical representations of higher and lower dimensions. All right? And our newly designated alien Jesus has an ability to traverse this. So, did they create us? Did they evolve us? What's the difference? Okay? So again, back to Candace, right? There's big boss, alien God. There's big boss alien, and that's God. All right? We got the lesser aliens, Satan, the angels. All right? They fall. They fall from whatever higher dimension, whatever the fuck that means. Okay? And then they come down, they fuck us, which is, who could disagree with that? If gods are real, they're definitely ruining our lives. They fuck us so hard. Okay? And then you have half God, half man, 33 God, 66 God. Jesus is 100% God, 100% man. And then begins, we look at the story that we get from, religious texts, the story, whatever JRE alternative historians present their story, the same one that they talk about, the scientific, the evidence-based, and the mythical one, same thing. Christian high school Kyle would be really proud of me right now. So again, right. Humankind wiped out 12,000 years ago. All right. Watch the JRE, the Great Flood. All right. And, we look at what's going on with the pyramids, ancient structures. It's proven. The seashells on the high mountains, there was a flood. All right. And the goal of the flood, because it came from space, the goal was to destroy the alien human hybrids. Or whatever, the alien human hybrids, same people in the Bible, what we're talking about. Okay? And then they had survivors who taught us about civilization or the ways of the devil. They taught us all that, created the structures, right? That's what we see. And then up comes the Tower of Babel. All right? And whatever the technology is that was taught, that they knew, all right, we had it. And then God confuses people. Alien God comes down and probes us all. They mess with the brains, send out the waves, send out the very scientific, provable waves. All right? And they change all the languages. And in fact, give human beings more freedom when you think about it. Make the groups smaller. And then we go back to our time. This guy's mentioning CERN. This guy's mentioning the technology. Think about it, all right? If God was mad, change the languages, and then the elites who are left, who were taught by the ancient alien human hybrids that were wiped out in the flood, that the ancient structures prove, all right, what are they doing now? They're creating technology to bring it all back together. Now, see, like, what does the internet do? The binary code. What did the technology of the Tower of Babel do? It brought people together at the minimum, right? They're all coming to hang out. At the maximum, which is the question Candace is postulating, is like, what is that technology? Is it the technology to fucking create the portal to go to hell so fucking they can dominate Earth? And that's, Earth is a beautiful place of resources and bounty that we always talk about. I mean, what is the technology of the Tower of Babel? All right, is it perhaps the technology that all the billionaire, circumstantially Jewish tech oligarchs are making, who are, likely pedophiles? I mean, tell me, watch the next data center come up. Tell me it doesn't look like a Tower of Babel. I'm sure it did. It'd be hilarious. They'll come out. They'll be like, oh, this data center needs to be real tall. Needs to be real tall. Needs to get the data everywhere. The Bluetooth Wi-Fi signal needs to be real tall. It'll look like a lot of those, images that we put at the Oscars. We've created the universal language again. This is how we do it. I mean, think about it, man. I mean, Candace, her whole point is to tell you, how the elites are evil. Linking it back to some religious history. And, we hear here we are in our modern life, and the technology, makes God seem so stupid. That's what really gets you about God is, you look at all the technology and all the things human beings have created and feels like we're better. But it's not hard to figure out. I mean, who's giving us this shit? What did you come up with? The fucking Black Mirror phones, Jesus Christ. And, if you don't believe all the religious stuff, maybe you're a good person and you're out, you're like a realist and you talk about the, going out and exploring space stuff, the Bill Hicks pipe dream, explore space in peace, these Star Trek motherfuckers. Yeah, and you don't want to believe all the religious stuff. Maybe you just want to go on the aliens, but I'm trying to tell you that maybe they're the same thing. Yeah, I mean, if you want some beautiful life of, universal exploration, and you don't want to admit that human beings are some moderate creation by some insane, unfathomable, practically omnipotent entity, then you got to realize that the elites, they think that whatever I just said, they believe. And you got to get your head out of your ass. All right, perhaps even use these weapons that they've created against them, huh? Yeah, stop opining or pining for a future, and that is not the likely outcome at this point, right? You can believe whatever you want, but it seems to be obvious what needs to be done. You need to get ready to vote. You need to get ready to vote. Support people who you think believe in God or aliens, probably both. Just people who have a real commitment to the total defeat of Satan. Who's Satan? Just a guy who wants to just, fight the bad ones, all right? Maybe a guy who has a podcast, does a little bit of art, puts it on the internet. Yeah, I'm gonna need to see a lot more Jeffrey Epstein memes out there, all right, if we really want to fight this shit. Some more, pointing out that they believe in Dionysus. Jeffrey Epstein in a dress, please, in a nice temple gown. My Instagram story needs it. Mm-hmm. All right. Last segment, California governor's race. I'm shocked. I'm going to continue to do this. I'm shocked. This is not the tempo. This is not the way we should do this. All right. I'm not going to do a whole clip about it, but I will say this about California at this moment. Does Gavin Newsom know Jeffrey Epstein? Does anybody know that? Has anyone researched Gavin Newsom's name in the DOJ files? Find his connection immediately. Find his connection right now. God knows. I mean, at least Gavin and Jeffrey had the same dentist. At least that, right? Yeah, last couple pods ago, I put a Jeffrey Epstein's dentist chair. I wonder if those masks are Gavin. All right, that was the pod. Thank you so much. Fun time, good time, solid time. Hope you like the rhythm. Like it. Subscribe to it. Comment on it. I'm sure this podcast will only get like 8 views because I put the Keanu Reeves Al Pacino clip in there. I should have just posted that on Instagram and took it out of the pod, but I had a lot of fun doing it. Anyway, yeah. So just do all the things, watch it, share it. Don't share it. Don't do that. Let me be your personal joy. And anything else? Anything else? I wish, dude, I got to get a producer in here. I'd love to talk to people. I've been doing really good talking to people lately. I like to talk to Tim Pool. Can I get on Tim Pool's show? Yeah, I got to start the Libertarian Fascist Party immediately. I think that'd be a good move for me. Get some traction. Gather attention. Anyway. All right. Bye.